They say midnight is the hour when the veil between this world and the next grows thin, that what you write might just become real. Tonight I bring you a chilling story, one that perhaps should never have been told. Stay until the end to uncover the truth about this terrifying mystery. Now, turn off the light, turn up the volume, and prepare to meet the midnight visitor. The forest was thick, damp, silent, so silent that not even the crickets dared to sing after dark. That place, lost somewhere deep within the pine barrens of New Jersey, seemed perfect for writing. Far from the noise, far from media, interviews, fans demanding more stories, and the awards that no longer meant anything to him. Nathaniel Graves, a world-famous horror author with 7 bestsellers to his name, had decided to disappear for 2 months into a rented cabin. His only goal? To finish his next novel. But he didn't know that his new story hadn't come from his imagination. It had come from somewhere deeper and far darker. The first few days were peaceful. Coffee in the mornings, long walks among the trees, hours spent at his old typewriter, the same one he used for his very first hit. And strangely, this time, the words flowed easily. No writer's block, no second guessing. The chapters poured out almost fully formed. He didn't even remember typing some of them. But what really unsettled him was that every time he stepped away from the typewriter, he'd return to find new lines written. Lines he swore he hadn't typed. Dialogues he never would have written. He blamed exhaustion, isolation, the pressure, until midnight came and he heard it for the first time. Three soft knocks on the door. He ignored it. Probably branches, maybe the wind, but the knocks were too steady, too precise, too human. Nathaniel decided to wait. He sat next to the door, flashlight in hand, a candle burning, his heart pounding like a drum. At exactly midnight, he flung the door open. The flashlight cut through the dark. No one. Just the unmoving forest. And in the distance, a figure. Tall, hunched, sleeping between the trees. What shook him most? It looked just like him. He rushed inside, breathless, told himself it was a shadow, a trick of the light, stress maybe. But when he sat back at the typewriter, he saw something that made his blood run cold. A paragraph describing exactly what had just happened. The flashlight, the candle, the silhouette, word for word. maybe he had sleep typed. But when he checked the manuscript, everything matched. Even details that hadn't happened yet. And worse, his main character no longer had a fictional name. Now he was called Nathaniel Graves. Same background, same scars, same secrets. He tried deleting the pages, tearing them, burning them. But the next day, they were back, untouched and longer. And each night, right on time. One night, he found a folded page laid under the door. It was from his manuscript, and it described everything happening that very night. That's when he understood. He wasn't writing the story anymore. The story was writing him. Clock started acting up. Second repeating. Minutes lost. Sometimes hours. In mirrors, his reflection didn't always move in sync. Sometimes it blinked before he did. And in his dreams, he saw himself standing outside the door, knocking like he was trying to warn himself, or maybe take his place. He set up a camera. When he reviewed the footage the next morning, he felt his stomach dropped. At the stroke of the midnight, a man appeared at the edge of the woods, shuffling, filthy, blank stare. It was him, but older, weaker, emptier. He watched himself walk up and knock 3 times. And just before the video ended, a message flashed across the screen. If you finish the story, you enter it. Nathaniel fled, driving for hours through dirt roads, nameless towns, places that looked familiar. But no matter how far he went, at midnight, until one night, exhausted, with nowhere left to run, he opened the door. And there he was, himself, silent, holding a page. It was the final page. Nathaniel read it and knew it was the ending. A story where the writer disappears and something else takes his place. Nathaniel Graves was never seen again. But his final manuscript was found on the desk. The title? The Midnight Visitor. And they say those who read it to the very end begin to hear knocking on their door right at midnight. And you? Have you ever heard knocking at your door when the clock strikes 12? Maybe your story has already begun. Let me know in the comments if something like this has ever happened to you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, because every Friday at midnight, I'll be right here waiting for you with another story you wish you could forget. Until next time.